a really thought-provoking, fantastic title, and it was a very entertaining speech as well. It was one that I'm sure we all enjoyed. It had humour, it had structure, and it was informative. And we've all been there, obviously. We've all had ups and downs using public transport and travel. The speech opened. I thought Duncan started his speech with a very relaxed opening. He stood there for a few minutes, well, for a few seconds, and then he just looked at the audience and gave a very big smile. And that brought us all in and really got our attention. And he started off with taking a few pauses. It was a very well-paced speech. He took his time. It was obviously thought out. And I think that the main problem that struck me was that he didn't actually that he was actually using his notes. So there was a little bit of glancing over to his notes, which actually took the attention away slightly from the speech. At the same time, though, I got the impression he didn't need to do that because he did seem to know the material very well. However, it wasn't a great problem. I actually liked the technique that he used because it was just the occasional glance, but it would just have been slightly better if he'd been able to sort of free himself from his notes. His gestures were very good. I loved the way that when he spoke about stillness, and he just brought his arms slightly forward as if he was meditating, and there was a feeling of stillness and a pause. Then when he was speaking about Planet Fury, he really got into the role, and we just felt, well, I certainly felt that I'd met that character. His voice completely changed, and he used some very good gestures. At one point he was pointing, but I just thought that he could have made slightly better use of the floor. At that point, maybe he could have run over here when he was doing the voice, because it was such a contrast from the stillness of the initial voice, and then that complete change when he completely got into that character. As I said, the speech was very well structured. It started out with a sort of relaxation. I felt in fact the start could have been slightly punchier, but the ending was excellent because that's when we realised exactly the whole meaning of "you could be flying" completely sunk in. So it was a great ending, and I just felt that if he possibly managed to free himself from his notes, it would have been slightly better. He was also, when the eye contact was slightly to the right of the room, it would have been better if he'd managed, and slightly looking down at times as well. If he'd looked up more, we would have felt a bit more drawn in. But I think if he'd done that, it was a really excellent speech, and those were the only points to be built on.